Another big-time matchup, BC Steel. It's IWC's past and its present. Matthew Justice is one of those men we alluded to earlier as a former Super Indy champion. He beat the embodiment of Super Indy, Super Anti, and I believe it was 2011, one of the shortest reigns in Super Indy history. But still, he was able to defeat what at that point was considered one of the masters of Super Indy. Still is, really. And it's been many years since Matt Justice has been a regular in IWC. Series of injuries, series of location changes in his life. But Matt Justice is here, ready to prove that he's just as good as he ever was.
And what a great way to come back into IWC.
The Great American Trend Kill. What a way to come back in a matchup that could maybe get him a future Super Indy title shot. We just heard live LaRusso will meet Nick Chesney in Meadville with Ricky Steamboat as a referee.
Yeah,
that's big.
Yeah, I know, Joe. I heard it, all right, and I booed it.
Here's a man who just can't boo lately.
Try me.
Andrew Palace is just a ball of energy. Picked up a big win over Calvin Couture at Proving Ground.
Why are you so mean to my friends?
I just go with guilty by association mostly. How was I mean? Did he beat Calvin Couture?
You said it smarmy. Calvin Couture. Oh, that nasally voice. I know what that means.
It means I don't like the guy, yeah.
Well, I don't like Andrew Palace, so there.
Yeah, because he beat up your boy LaRusso a couple times.
Well, I don't like Justin Plummer either. I didn't clear Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with me.
You know Plummer's going to listen to this, right?
I love Justin Plummer. Best IWC owner ever.
Matt Justice is less than impressed with the frenetic energy of the Spazmanian Devil known as Andrew Palace.
Spaz is right, Joe. Somebody with a palace is my hero. Boy.
Referring to the sign in the crowd?
Yes. No, the guy with it tattooed on his face.
Oh, he's here?
Actually, that guy might have it tattooed on his body somewhere. Oh, Joe, Palace fans are all weirdos.
What do you mean? I'm an Andrew Palace fan.
Case in point. No, Mason, I like you, Joe.
I'm sure.
Of all my friends, you're here.
Well, what does Matthew Justice have to do to stop Andrew Palace? I know you've spent many months in the strategy sessions trying to figure out a formula to stop Andrew Palace, and sometimes you were successful more than others, and sometimes not, but I got to admit that you guys took the fight to Palace and got the upper hand more often than not in that rivalry. So tell us what Matt Justice is going to look to do.
Well, what you got to do with Palace, you mentioned earlier the frenetic energy. He's constantly moving, constantly going. What you got to do exactly what Matt Justice is doing right now. You got to ground him. You got to keep him down. You got to not let the people get behind him. You got to keep the people quiet and keep Palace in no perpetual constant motion. That's what you got to do to keep him down. Because all it takes is 1 second for him to turn that second gear and then really take it to you.
Matt Justice calls himself the Great American Trend Kill. One-man militia, anti-establishment, anti-authority, somebody that doesn't subscribe to the rules of society. We talked about Remy LeVay earlier, and certainly some comparisons can be made between the two, but Justice has been a loner really most of his whole career.
Well, see, there is a slight difference. Justice chooses to be a loner, and Remy can't help it.
That's not true. Remy is friends with a lot of people, Keith Hawk.
You're not making a great point.
Matt Justice, at one point, had an association with Justin LeVar. Matt was actually one of the men who caused the injury to the knee of Jimmy Nuts that allowed Jimmy Nuts' career to unfortunately sidestep the way it did initially. So Justice is a very dangerous athlete out there. And we know he's capable of just about anything. I've seen him win numerous championships in his career, including, but not limited to, the Super Indy crown. Thanks for all about in the corner, Palace escapes.
Well, that just goes to show you the caliber of athlete and talent that Matthew Justice is. If LeBar was willing to take him on as a client.
LeBar will take on anybody as a client. He can manipulate and make a quick buck.
Now, Joe, why? That's insulting. I'm going to tell him you said that. I'm going to send him that specific audio.
You didn't say it was inaccurate.
Well, of course it is. I implied that it was. I didn't have to come out and spell it out for him.
I insulted him by revealing his sick plan to the world. Take down Justice. Leapfrog by Palace, and Justice is trying to get a step ahead of Palace. Nothing doing. Only a count of one that time. Justice has not been very active in 2017. He suffered a serious back injury towards the end of 2016 that left him rather inactive. I do know that he was trying to really rejuvenate his schedule throughout that year. Appearances in Cleveland, Ohio, and surrounding areas. Had a match at House of Hardcore in Cleveland the day before House of Hardcore was here in the Pittsburgh area. Did you know that?
I did. You know what else we saw in House of Hardcore? Chris Russo won the Super Indy Championship. Boom, in your face.
No, he didn't beat in your face. He beat yourself.
I know. You're close to that third strike.
He beat in your face 2 weeks ago. I'm giving credit to your guy. He beat Shane in your face.
Yes, he did. He beat a lot of people.
Can Chris Russo beat Matt Justice?
Well, I think we would be able to come to some sort of agreement if that were to happen, but of course.
What do you mean agreement? What are you talking about?
You know, Chris Russo, he may beat Fabulous John McChesney. He may beat Ricky Steamboat, too.
Well, he's the referee, is Steamboat. You don't want to beat him, you can get disqualified.
I could referee. I refereed here before back in the day.
Yeah, and then when you left, this company took off like a rocket ship.
That was coincidental.
Oh, shit.
You know, speaking of a rocket ship, it's a good metaphor for Justice, or excuse me, for Palace.
You okay?
I'm Joe for Clemens.
Okay.
Second time you've done it to me.
Imagine how Palace feels now.
Well, let me show you how he feels. Can I chop you?
No, get away from me.
Come on, just right on your chest.
So you as a former referee, how do you think Bobby Williams is doing that?
Well, you know what? He did great in the match with Chris LaRusso. Called it down the middle.
Oh!
And that was right in the middle of Palace's face. If you're in the second to fourth row, please look for his teeth and possibly part of his nose.
And that could be a game changer there as Justice is able to finally stunt the momentum and the forward motion of Andrew Palace.
And that's a heck of a way to slow him down, like I mentioned earlier. A kick to the face. Uh-oh. Cat-like reflexes there by Matches.
Justice tripping up. Palace. Oh! Justice the guardrail hard. That'll do no favors to his back end. Palace through the ropes. A suicide dive. Gotta love Andrew Palace.
No, you don't.
People just feed off of his energy.
I don't.
You're talking about your refereeing history. So many great referees here through the years in IWC. Christopher Cayley Capello, once upon a time.
Oh, the guy that broke his nose getting out of the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else you got, Joe?
The roll up. How about Stephen Coulter? Anybody find him?
Huh.
Jake Clemens.
Can't seem to place it. Oh, I know Clemens. Wait, Clemens. It's not Jake C. Lemons.
Not close enough.
Did he ever beat?
Remember even a couple of times Norm Connor's down in the stretch. Jimmy DeMarco's been a ref. 2 count.
We've had a lot of special guest ring announcers as well. Like Dave Kitch.
No, Dave Kitch is our regular ring announcer.
Hey, he's special.
How about Chris Jericho as a special ring announcer?
I've heard of him. You know, he said my name twice, by the way.
Okay. Moving on, Justice sends Palace in.
You know, Joe, you even have to say it. Justice has looked very impressive.
Justice looks great right now. Hey, Andrew Palace is maybe the most momentum. Oh, God, no. And again, we talked about Justice and his method of targeting knees. And Palace lands hard on both knees, and I don't think Palace has those pads pulled up all the way. That could be dangerous. And speaking of dangerous, the knee to the back of the head as well.
Well, Joe, another good way to slow somebody down is by taking out their
This
knee.
could end it entirely, 2-0.
You know how hard it is to run on 2 busted kneecaps? I don't know if you've ever heard of anybody getting capped, but that's the definition of it, what we see Justice doing. A very knee-based offense.
As I was about to say, Palace has maybe the most forward momentum and potential out of anybody in IWC. If you look at the past couple of years, and if Matt Justice can slow that down, can stop that, I mean, he's proven himself to be a big player here in IWC. And just taking the fight to Palace.
And it's exactly what you got to do. You know, what you should do is when the referee's not looking, just take your thumb and dig it right into the eye.
Wait a second, I'll ignore that comment as Justice gets 2. You just got them talking about how great a job the referees have done in IWC, and then you pull out one.
Well, they've done a great job. I mean, it's hard being a referee.
Yeah, how about Bruce Gray and Bryce Remsburg? They were great referees for us.
How about that Mark Steele guy?
Yeah, you were here under an assumed name. That's how garbage your reputation has been.
Well, I mean, statute of limitations is passed. I can go by the name I have.
The only thing I can say for your sake is that unlike Bruce, you could see color. Palace firing away at Matthew Justice. Has Justice on the defensive, reeling a little bit.
And that's another thing in Palace's game. What you do to him, he will attempt to do to you tenfold. And Joe, I got to say, since that cage match back a few months ago against Chris LaRusso, it's almost been a different Andrew Palace, a more aggressive Andrew Palace.
I think the focus is second to none as well, but Justice with a handful of the amply sized hair of Andrew Palace.
He definitely could do a Pantene Pro V commercial, or VO5.
I think both these guys could.
I'd be happy to make some content.
Knee Trembler stacks him up, could do it now.
I'm very big in the shampoo world, Joe.
Are you?
Yes, I have much hair.
I don't understand any word of the last 2 sentences, but we'll move on.
But Joe, what you need to understand is how impressive Matt Justice is looking. You know, he seems to be getting a little frustrated that he can't put Palace away, and I'm hoping for his sake that doesn't cost him.
That's been a staple of Palace opponents, though, hasn't it?
Well, absolutely. You know, Palace...
Oh, Justice! Knee for a knee, eye for an eye. Justice strikes the knee up the edge of that ring frame. There is no give, and Karma has come back to haunt Matthew Justice.
Karma, she was here too, wasn't she?
Oh, and a double knees by Palace!
And we saw Justice's head smack right off the back of the gym floor. That's literally a padding, or excuse me, not a padding, literally a sheet that covers the gym floor.
If this was IWC Super Indie Alumni Frightmare, we'd call that knee collapsing.
Wow. Yes, we would.
That's what he calls it. Talking about knees.
You're like an IWC encyclopedia, Joe.
One time in Ellsworth, Pennsylvania, Norm Connors got on the mic and said his knees couldn't hear the fans. I think he was drinking that day, though. And his knees were scarred up from baseball.
Common injury.
I think his knees have regained their hearing. They used to be deaf.
Well, Joe, that happens sometimes. I'll tell you, too many more shots to either one of these guys on the outside, and they're definitely going to be feeling it.
God, this is intense. And we're having fun up here, but Justice and Palace are having a physical war, and it really has been back and forth, eye for an eye here, as far as both men just trying to take the other's wheels out.
And think about what a win could mean for either man. You know, we're talking about the momentum Palace is on.
And you can feel that momentum growing, maybe Palace hitting a second burst of adrenaline.
And this is what I said, he gets that second win, and he goes almost as faster as he did the first time.
Oh, God! He just punched through Justice's face. Are you kidding me? Now, this is at the next level! Shotgun dropkick. Justice bounces off the corner. And no sign of damage to the knees at the moment for Palace. He may feel it in the morning when the adrenaline wears off. But right now, it's all about victory. Could it be the hernia driver? I think Justice knows that the end may be near. Both men exchanging boots, but Palace scooped up Justice! Modified neck breaker. This could be all. Two. Got him, though.
Jota, I thought that was it right there. That was really, really... I mean, that had to be 2 and 99, 100.
And again, we talked earlier about the frustration and Justice. Can you feel the same body language and facial expressions from Andrew Palace.
Well, a little bit. He certainly thought that was the 3. Looked at Bobby Williams almost in disbelief.
And Justice is daring Palace to hit him. It's almost like Justice is incensed right now. Oh, God! Knee to the face!
It almost tumbled, well, it did tumble Matt Justice all the way out of the ring.
If there weren't ropes on that ring, Palace would be in the 4th row. That's amazing momentum.
And so would Justice, for that matter.
Justice is... I don't know if he's going to realize where he is by the count of 10. And Palace, he's a competitor. He doesn't want to win this way. He breaks the count. But, man, Palace easily, I think, could have had a count-out win.
And that could come back to haunt Palace. That whole pride thing can get you in trouble. A count-out victory is just as good as a pin.
And Palace, he is laboring to get to the turnbuckle. But he's going to take a chance. Justice able to scoop Palace up. You can see the amount of time it took Palace to try to scale the ropes. Came back to haunt him. Justice hooks the leg. Got him now. And you talk about the close falls. Justice could feel it. And now his knee pads come down. We saw the knee to the face once. It was not quite enough. But now the bone to the knee exposed, and Justice is a man possessed.
And Joel, if he hits it, at the very least, that's going to be a broken nose, broken orbital bone for Palace.
Palace ducks. Oh, the high and go back suplex. Justice on his head. And now, hernia driver, attempt 2. Palace connects. Can he hold him? He's got him. What a fight we have seen. Not just a wrestling match, but a fight between Matthew Justice and Andrew Palace. Andrew Palace, even you got to admit he earned this one.
And you know what? I'll give credit where it's due. Not only did Andrew Palace earn that victory, but he showed something to me, and I think these people as well.
What is next for the Spasmanian Devil? As Palace certainly is going to be chasing championship gold in 2017. He can be a bit polarizing, but when he's out there, man, he is magnetic, the energy he gives you. Andrew Palace survives another war.
All right, listen. I think you know why I'm out here, and I know you don't want me to do this.
I don't know. Anytime somebody comes in the ring, they hit me in the nuts or something.
You're not gonna worry about that. Suit's too tight. But I want to say something, because for those of you that have been here for the last 3 years, you know that despite a few recent bumps, which I know you're taking hard on yourself, Andrew Palace has been the face of the IWC. Two-time Super Indy champion. The loudest reaction from the fans. Nobody works harder. Nobody does the training school more often than you. Nobody wants this more than you. Yeah! When guys are coming from lesser-known promotions and they want to get under these lights right here, they target you to get here. LaRusso! So I'm going to do something tonight, and I know you're not going to be happy about it. You don't think you deserve it, but you do.
He deserves it. He don't deserve it.
Do it! I'm going to make it official right now, Andrew Palace, as my thank you to you, something that Chuck should have done years ago. I'm officially naming you the #1 contender to the IWC World Heavyweight Championship. If I have to sit back there and listen to Justin Plummer do this crap any longer, I'm going to throw up. Listen here, Plummer. Let me draw some Jack facts for you. Since Jack Pollock debuted in IWC, I am undefeated.
That's true.
Since Jack Pollock came to IWC, I've beaten tag team champions. Since Jack Pollock came to IWC, I've beaten former Super Indie champions. And you want to name Andrew Palace the #1 contender for your heavyweight championship? Check the record books. Jack Pollock beat your golden boy. I'm in line. You think Andrew Palace is going to win the heavyweight title? Over my damn body. Nobody gets a shot at that title before Jack Pollock does. You want to be #1 contender? No, I got a crazy idea, Pollock. What if you and I fight for that #1 contender spot? You want it so bad? You want it so bad? Beat me one-on-one in a clean fight. I'll show you just why I should be the #1 contender. Take it out. You want it? You want it? April 7th, Wheeling, West Virginia. We'll do it. #1 contender match. Jack Pollock versus Andrew Palace. Now get the heck out of here.
Andrew Palace is a fighter. He's always willing to stand up for what he believes in, no matter the odds. Pollock and Team Storm have bested Palace on more than one occasion in the past, but if they do it one more time, Pollock gets a path to an IWC Championship opportunity, and Palace's hopes are dashed.
That would be great. I can't wait till April 7th.
It's our debut in Wheeling, West Virginia. That'll be an important night for all of IWC, but a pivotal night in the careers of Andrew Palace and Jack Pollock with IWC Championship implications at stake.